Hey everyone, just wanted to talk about where I've been, the future of the channel, what everything's really looking like, the possibilities of Fable 4, and what's going on with the Fable Anniversary mods, and the tutorial, and the Nitro Kart bosses. Let's just hit it all up, huh? So anyways, let's start with the tutorial I'm about to upload. Just get that out of the way. Mods for Fable Anniversary, whenever I upload them, they don't work for other people. And this is not a incident that is isolated from me. This is something that other modders I've met have come to experience as well. And it seems like a lot of this is probably on Steam's side, or the way that the game is trying to link these files. Anything that uses files from outside of the vanilla game is basically just corrupting it and breaking it. It will render in your engine perfectly fine, but it won't render in game. And some ways around this, you could always import the raw files into your package directly of whatever weapon you're replacing. You could always just import the raw files and rename it the literal way that we kind of construct these mods. But at that point, it kind of... you're almost just like modding the game yourself with things that we just set up for you, basically, at that point. So, it's not very practical. But I'm going to have a tutorial up later to talk about that. To show you how to do a couple of things, how to swap models. I mean, I don't think there's much else I really need to show you in the tutorial other than swapping a model. It kind of applies to everything else. I can talk about a couple of other things, but that'll be about it. So, let's get the Nitro Kart bosses out of the way as well. For any of the Nitro Kart bosses, I've kind of just been circumvented in my attempts to do this. Shadowrunner, the original creator, was never willing to share the codes he made to make them playable in CNK with anybody, of course, and anyone here on my channel knows that, and is, and kind of came over here because they were sick of that as well. And I understand that, and I'm really sorry that I was never able to fully set up the Nitro Kart bosses for you. But at least Phoenox took a look at what we were all doing and struggling with, and took us into consideration when they remastered CTR and put some love together in our characters in there. I mean, as of recently, they even added the Velo Kart. So personally, I think we should at least just be grateful for that. And as of Fable 4, it's been probably talked about since, I don't know, like 2018 by this point. It's gone on a really long time with people just talking about Fable 4 and then not really anything coming of it. There's been some concept art that was recently leaked that I've been peeking at over and over again, just staring at it. But at the same time, the concept art could also probably just apply to any, like, pirate game, you know? Even though it does look very Fable-y, it does. But a bigger reason I would like to give you hope for Fable 4 being a thing, and being a thing that is worked on by Playground Games for Microsoft, is that, sure, they didn't come out of the woodwork and just say, yes, we're doing Fable 4. Here you go, we're gonna show it to you. Sure, they didn't say that. Sure, Fable 4 is not confirmed. But what is confirmed is that Playground Games is what their project is. Their project, and it is confirmed that it's what they're working on, is a AAA RPG. And now, maybe a AAA RPG could be a new IP, but if you ask me, I feel like it might entail using an IP that already exists. And I can't think of any other AAA RPGs for Microsoft other than Fable, honestly, that, I should clarify, still have an original studio. And I feel like that's where you should probably be most optimistic for Fable 4. if it's coming, we'll hear about it this year or next year. If we really don't hear about it by next year, then things might just be getting dry. And I mean, that sucks, but sometimes it's just the way it is, you know. And I mean, there's been a lot of speculation over it, but I do think it's going to happen, of course. And I mean, some other concept art I saw that was leaked. I can't confirm if it was by the same artist who did the concept art that's really going around, but I saw a smaller channel show off some concept art of what honestly looked like Oakvale. I shit you not, it just looked like Oakvale to me. And that could still just also be up for grabs to be anything. The concept art could not even be for Fable still, even though it looks incredibly Fable-y, but I think that's probably definitely what we're looking at, especially with Playground confirming that they're working on a AAA RPG. I think that the only reason that we haven't seen anything of it thus far is, like everyone says, they just aren't ready, and Microsoft's had a bad habit of just flapping their gabs before they're ready to show something off.
Welcome to Reaver's Wheel of Misfortune.
And you know something else? If it is Fable 4, if that is what we're looking at coming up soon,
we ask that losers
I think we should be pretty happy about
quickly.
that. I think that we should be happy,
And what
not just
will
because
you
it's Fable
fight
4.
today?
Of course, but
It's the Wolf Round.
because so much time
Please
would have
proceed
been
to
put
the
into this
arena.
at this point. You need to take Fable 3 into consideration here. So many people bash this game like the little models in this game aren't sculpted with love and so much elegant detail. Like, I could come into the Sanctuary and show you some little pieces on some guns right now that are just stunning.
The armory is at your disposal.
But
With a rifle, a skilled
it
shooter
gets-
can hit
it
targets
gets
at
the flack that it
significant range
does
and inflict
because they only
considerable
had
damage.
2 years to work on the
Will you be
fucking
wanting
thing.
a different weapon?
If you looked at some of the armors for, like, at the end of the game in the DLCs, you'll see they're really lacking in detail. But, like, take a look at this shit. Like, let me flip over here. It's nuts. It's honestly nuts. So much care and little love. No one would ever see that little Balverine head. You see right there. No one would ever see that little Balverine head. No one ever talks about that little Balverine head. But that is attention to detail. And I appreciate that. And we would have gotten more of that and more of this shit if Fable 3 got more time in the first place. So we should be happy if this is Fable 4. Again, not just
Any other
because
business
it
to
would be
attend to?
Fable, but because so much time would have been given to this by now. So, I mean, it's really up to you, and a lot of people don't think that a racing studio, that's another argument I've heard, is that this
Let the
company
first
makes
round
racing games.
begin.
What are they going to do, making a AAA RPG? And I can tell you from my development with horror games that just jumping into game development is a big mess. There's so much learning to do in every tiny little thing, and I think from my experience with that and even just games in general, I'd have to say racing games are kind of the perfect blueprint to know how to make a game with multiple mechanics and animations, for that matter. Even the simple ones. Think about their Forza Horizon. There's every piece to them that you would need to know how to make a better game. There's human NPCs that have full body rigs and animations, texture sets and everything that look great. There's the vehicles that all have their own physics and moves, customizable. There's the tracks, which are perfect practice for level design. Like, there's so much that's important about a track in a racing game, especially from a game design standpoint. Like, each little turn matters. So learning to work that out and what makes it really fun will come in handy later in designing open world maps. It's honestly just a matter of course.
Please return to the main chamber via the nearest exit. Thank you.
But I think that's about it that I'll talk about for Fable 4. So if you were only here for Fable 4, then you can probably go by now.
Silenzio! The ville!
Chances are, yes, we'll probably see it next month, this April.
It's
E3,
the
I believe,
mercenary
so we'll be
round.
seeing it pretty soon.
Please
If it
proceed
is
to the arena.
what it is. And if so, I would like to say that a lot of the details from this leak, people shouldn't pretend like people don't just make up big-ass fucking statements like this on Reddit just all the time anyways. They do, it happens. But I don't think it completely cripples the legitimacy of a Fable game in the works. So I do think we should all be hopeful.
Let the round commence.
I'm gonna move on now to talk about the future of the channel. So again, if you were here for Fable 4 discussion, you can probably just peace out by now. Thanks for coming by.
Nice hit.
But as far as the future of the channel is concerned, I don't really know exactly what I want to do or where I want to take this. I kind of just want to dick around and go on little adventures like I am right now with you guys.
Will the Gauntlet rebels survive
Playing
this
Fable 3
round?
and
Well,
interacting
probably,
with
but
you
it's
while
good to see
I
them
play the game.
suffer first, isn't it?
Even though Fable 3 gets a lot of shit it does, I really enjoy Fable 3. I mean, Fable 1, of course, is my favorite. I really enjoy Fable 3. And I wish other people could see the love that was put into it and how good of a game this could have been if they would have gotten even just one more year on it. I think that I'll continue to do boss fights. And I also think that I'll continue to do my mod showcases. But I also wanted to just start doing some little adventures where I talk to you guys, you know, have just a little interaction. Just feel like it's been
That's it! We want blood!
I was thinking that I'd try to actually mod Fable 3.
This is like
Packing the bags has been a real shame on that.
Complete.
just like that.
I figured
Please
maybe
return to the
Kesha
main
could
chamber
help,
via the nearest exit. Thank you.
well, not that Kesha could help, but maybe you could lay some information on how I could probably
Let's
repack the
spin the
bags
wheel!
entirely correctly.
It's the hob round.
As I probably did it like a
Please
clown.
proceed to
I'm just
the
gonna
arena.
tell you right now, I probably did that shit like a flat-out clown. That's the thing
Let
about
the round commence.
modding now, or trying to get into game development. There really is so many tiny little things and steps. Each little thing's its own job, from rigging, to weight painting, to fucking modeling, to sculpting, to animating. To the guy who makes the particles. Fuck. All particles really are, in most cases, are animated materials or textures.
Go on,
But,
little fella. Give him a good smack.
Spawning them and controlling their whole system life and everything, it's honestly utter shit.
Poor thing. If anyone would like to donate to my new hob charity, I'll arrange a
I haven't
funeral
been
for the
able
little
to
mite.
figure out making
Or we can just flush it.
only editing particles that University has, or other games for that matter. I haven't been able to build them from scratch. But I also haven't experimented with Substance Painter yet. And some advice I think I like to give to anyone else who is interested in game development for modding is to try to... You're going to have to learn to do a little bit of everything, but having a focus is okay and desirable. I mean, I've hired a guy before just to rig a model, so think about that. If rigging was all you did,
Dear me! I've
That
got
works.
in the audience.
that works for you. That can work for you. Although it's not exactly like that would make you flexible, though. Important things. I think that I'll just finish
What will
this
the
up.
Wheel of Misfortune really say
Talk to
this
you
time?
guys for a while, and that'll be about it.
It's the Hollow Man round. Please proceed to the arena. Let the round commence.
I mean,
You
I'm
should
sure
have
we've all had a
Hatch's
moment where we thought
undead
to ourselves
insurance
that
guaranteed to pay out in the event of a zombie
we'd like to talk about games, news, or things that we discuss in just one of the commentary channels. But sometimes I ask myself if I'm really the person to do that. I'd like to take my channel in that direction as well. I just don't really know if it would be my angle. I feel like writing scripts takes out the authenticity in just really being who you are. And is a large role player in
There's
YouTube
nothing worse than
personality
hiding from a
and
corpse.
vanishing.
How embarrassing! What a hit! That must have been
Damn,
some
these
sort
guys
of
are
century
walloping my ass.
This rebels are in serious trouble now.
Oh, they're so slow! Someone speed them up, please!
Alright.
For someone who's been dead a couple of 100 years. Round complete. Please return to the main chamber via the nearest exit. Thank you.
Oh. You know, this is the first time I've ever gotten Jack's hammer. In all my years of playing Fable 3. Since Fable 3 has been released, I've never gotten Jack's hammer till this playthrough.
And what will you fight today? It's the Sand Fury
I think
round.
I'm gonna call it pretty soon,
Please
guys,
proceed
honestly.
to the arena.
I don't really have any much else to talk about. I've covered the where I really want to take this, or where I might take this, where I've been.
Let the round commence.
Fable 4. I think that I think we could talk about just a little bit more how Fable 3 is kind of an underappreciated game. It doesn't get as much love as Fable 2 does. I think that's just because of all the charm Fable 2 retains still from the original Fable, and how distant it still is in itself. But I think it's how much people love Fable 2 that ends up bringing to surface how much they don't like Fable 3. And that ends up being just how much harder Fable 3 is than it is anything else. I feel like Fable 3 really is just a more refined Fable 2. Like, they just took everything, cleaned it up, and focused it. And I feel like that was their weakness. But now it's debatable. I know I'm an absolute outlier for liking Fable 3 as much as I am compared to
It's not
2.
because they get angry on the beach, ladies and gentlemen.
I just feel like there's a lot of love in the game and not enough time. Like, even, again, like I mentioned earlier, the DLC outfits at the end of the game, they don't die properly. They don't seem like they have correct shading whatsoever. Their shadows are just absolute balls. I can't even confirm if they have will tattoos when you do flourishes on them, because they have a sand pretty, but
Please return to the main chamber via the nearest exit. Thank you.
No, those are just my horns, which, of course, come on every headpiece. Although now that I think about it, does any other headpiece even have little tattoos? Well,
Silencio! Reveal! She's about to speak!
it just shows really hard once you get to that Ravenscar Keep Demon Door, where they already didn't have enough time to finish the Minecraft-inspired variant we put in there, that the outfit is still kind of lacking in its detail as well. I also feel like they give you that outfit way too late in the game. Something Fable 3 could have benefited off of for sure is a little bit more armor.
I'm bored already. Let's finish this.
Yeah. To anyone who's ever been interested in modding, I really do encourage you. It's always hard at first, but it's absolutely a doable thing. I'll have that tutorial I mentioned at the start of this up really soon. I don't think we'll have kept you guys waiting.
I haven't got all day.
And there I go, down for the count. But I think after I show you guys what goes on in there, you'll feel how easy a lot of this stuff really is. Yeah, it'd be like that. Sometimes it's
Final round complete.
Congratulations on completing Reaver's Wheel of Misfortune. We find you...
Godlike. Hey, Weaver, you think anyone will actually get this
That's gonna
perfect
wrap it
score
up for
ever?
now, guys. I didn't
Perhaps,
mean
if someone of
ramble on
sufficient
for so
skill
long.
and complete
I'll
lack
probably
of a
cut
social life
some of
comes
this,
along.
or at least attempt to, since I just kind of spaced it so often and lost the main focus of the video halfway through anyways. So yeah, thanks.